Hang on one second. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the MonsterCast podcast with me, Mason Paul, and Cameron Miguez. I just picked up on the memo there, but don't worry, Cam. We are staying safe still.
Well, I'm just showing everybody the new licensed MonsterCast face mask. See, it says MC on here. These are officially licensed. You can purchase them now online at www.www.org.gov. They're $19.99.99. You'll see all kinds of people wearing them here coming up pretty soon. Guys in the NBA, the LPGA, the CPA, the SUVs, they'll all be wearing them. You have to order them quickly, though. We do have limited stock. I have 2 in stock. But you can get them different styles. We have new and slightly used. I did wash the slightly used ones in the sink. From everything I've read that I didn't read, it should be fine. So, yeah, you guys make sure you get them. It's going to be the new hot thing.
That's going to be sound like a hotcakes. Only 2 out? Wow.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to start with a large supply. I mean, look, Cheech and them over there, they got 6B apparel as a sponsor, so I went and got 7C apparel to come and help us. So we're just that much better. But they can only print 2 at a time, but they are going to more as quantities and orders come in, which I'm sure should just be flying in pretty soon. You can pretty much buy them everywhere we sell them. So, yeah. But, hey, Mason, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Anything exciting going
on? No, my cat didn't bring in anything these past few days since our last episode, so that's been a bummer. But been passing some pretty good time. Repping my favorite wrestler out today with my T-shirt. But with that, how about yourself?
So I guess we'll address the deal. So unfortunately, for anybody who didn't see the post we put out today, we were going to do the Housewives episode today with Dawn, Kay Young, and my wife, Mindy. Unfortunately, my wife's been sick for a few days. Just didn't feel like she could do this. She's doing fine, but just doesn't feel good. So we decided to put that off till next week. We're going to do it next Wednesday. All 3 are confirmed. So fortunately, I was able to reach out to Matt Cody, who I've been wanting to have on for a while, but just hadn't made the contact. But he was nice enough to the last second to say, yeah, jump on here. So I say without further ado, we bring on the 2019 Speedster World Champion, Mr. Matt Cody.
Yep.
Matt Cody, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, not too much. How about you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, dude, it's our pleasure. We've been talking about it for a while and just hadn't got to you yet, but I thank you for the last minute jumping on here with our change of schedule. But what's old shutdown 2020 been like for the Cody clan?
It's like I tell a lot of people, it's a blessing and a nightmare at the same time. It sucks that we're not out doing shows or doing our normal life, but it's good to be home with the family. I just had my son's almost 2 in next month, so it's good to be with him, see him grow up, and have fun. Some of the best times of him growing up, and Luckily I was in a job, snagging another job, and they work with my schedule. So if I do have shows coming up, I'm able to, scoot out of there and go do them. But, just living life and, making the best of it.
Well, now, I mean, Vodder's racing, motorsports. You guys got any shows coming up? What's the schedule looking like?
Oh, well, we just did Evansville with your boss, not too long ago. Cranton, Ohio, August 12th, supposedly it's a go. So hopefully, got my fingers crossed, because we had a good bit, and they just keep dropping off left and right. I mean, everybody knows how it is, and hopefully, if we can get one or two a month, I'll be happy with that. But guess we got to get them when we get them.
Yeah, it's pretty rough right now, but well, so let's get into the life of Matt Cody and how you got started in the whole monster truck industry.
Oh well, just like a lot of people say, but I was a fan, and Hagerstown Speedway, because I'm from Hagerstown, Maryland, and it's probably one of the top shows that people like to see and watch, and fast racing, and Mike Vauders, of course, is from Hagerstown, Maryland, so I've always been a fan of Mike. I never physically met him until I had a hat, and I was just in line, was going to talk to him. I didn't even want him to sign it, but he ended up taking it from me because he doesn't pay attention sometimes, and just signed my hat. But that was my first encounter with him. Well, that Mike Thompson, of course, he was my best friend. We went to school together. I miss him, of course, but we went to school together. We grew up together, and Steve Thompson, of course, you had him on your podcast. We're like a little big family around here, but Steven was doing it with Mike. He was best friends with Mikey, and me and Michael went to school together, and they were at a display one day, and I see Michael standing there, and I was like, I go to school with that kid. Like, I'm gonna go be friends with him now. Long story short, we became friends, got hooked up with Mike, going back to the shop, thanks to Mike and Steven, and just never stopped working from there. I did a lot of the grunt stuff, and I took a lot of crap sometimes, but fought through it, and went to a show with Trey Myers for the first time ever. He was nice enough to take this little this 14-year-old boy that was annoying, I guess, at the time, but he took me to my first show, and it just went on from there. And then got out of school, and I was actually in Mexico, and this is where your brother comes into play, because he's got a special little role in it. We were trying to figure out who was going to drive Iron Warrior, because it was just me, Mike, and Jimmy Tracy down there. And Darren, being Darren, of course, he was just like, just let the boy drive. What's the worst he going to do? And that was kind of my little start of driving. And then from there, just kept working at it.
Well, so now when you started out helping around, I mean, was this always the goal? Do this full time? This be your career? I mean, or
Yeah.
was this something you plan on doing for a little while?
No, it was something I always wanted to do. I'm one of the dumb ones, I guess you could say. It's much as I get annoyed with it, and but I look at it. This is it is a dream. It's a nightmare at the same time. But I guess I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do, and I kept pushing for it. When I did graduate high school, I ended up going and getting a real job working in hospitals. So I kind of quit and walked away from it. But it came back to me. Only 6 months, I think, I walked away from it. And once I got out of school, it was just full time, and this is all I've ever done necessarily. So.
Well, and I mean, you came on quick. I mean, I can remember back in the time. I don't remember what year it was, but I know when you first kind of started coming on, and you were a quick study. You started kicking ass in that truck and moved forward, and Waters built you a brand new truck. And I mean, how cool was that? Was it the last year, or the year before, you came out with a brand new piece?
Yeah, it's cool. When I look back on it, just because like I said, it's something I've always wanted to do, and to just the stepping stones that I've gotten to get here, because it didn't all just happen overnight. It was a long process. Even getting to go drive Jimmy Cretan's trucks. Thanks to you gave me the phone call on that one too. It's all cool, but yeah, he built that new truck for me. I can't thank Mike enough for everything that he's done. He's actually like, my second father. If you want to, be technical, he's like a father to me. He's always treated me like a father and a boss, and a bully sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, he's given me a lot of stuff, and I run, the B team for him, and he gives me full range for the most part. I kind of can basically do what I want, but I am considerate for the most part. I try to be nice, and not break up too much stuff. But he put that new truck together and dumped so much money into it. I can't think of enough. And that thing is I used to walk by people's trucks when we were at shows, and all the nice trucks, and I used to just daydream about having a nice piece of equipment. Not that my truck wasn't good, but it was 23 years old or something like that, and it was starting to beat me around, and got in that thing, and it's like a whole nother world. And unfortunately, with the Corona stuff, we got shut down early, so didn't almost get 1 year on it yet. But hopefully, when this all comes back together, we'll be stronger than ever.
Well, now, so let's talk about going into Monster Jam. You got to go do the triple threat, and you kicked ass on that. I mean, you did it for how many? You did it for 2 or 3 years?
It was my 4th year, so I
Fourth
was
year, wow.
the longest independent running driver that's done the tour for 4 years straight. Everybody else kind of did 3 years, and I tried to be, one of the top guys. I can't, of course, you can't keep up with, the company, but, I try to give them a run for their money and, do the best I can. And, it kind of goes back to, thanking Mike again, like he put a lot into that side, because you can't just go to a show and show up. I mean, there's 4. I mean, Mason's done it. I don't know. I'm sure you've been to a couple, but 5, 6, even 4 shows every weekend, just about. You go through a lot of parts, and it's tough. And you got to have the right crew. And Kevin Rico, he's been with me the whole 4 years also, and he slings wrenches, even though we want to hit him with some every once in a while. But but yeah, it's a hard tour, and he put a lot of money into that side of the team. We got like 4 spare transmissions, 2 spare motors that we carry with us, and unlimited amounts of parts to an extent. But he always like I'm the B team, but he always calls me the A team because I always have all the stuff in the truck. Yeah, triple threat. It's definitely it's a good show. It's a hard show, and I had fun doing it. If it comes back, it'd be cool to be a part of it. If not, it's definitely a good memory.
Well, now, so let's talk. Let's go back to last year. I mean, you do the triple threat series, you go to the World Finals, you win Speedsters, and then you go and do a stadium. I mean, I did MetLife with you, and so I mean, talk about having a season culminates into a championship, but then stepping into a stadium and what all that's like and the differences.
Yeah, 2019 was my best year. Of course, it was in my old truck still at the time, the beginning of the season, but just my tour that I was with, from the event manager to all the drivers to the crew, like it was probably my most fun tour that I've ever been on, learned a lot on it. And I think I won 30, I'm not even going to say 30, but at least 20. I won speedster races throughout that season. And that's all I focused on a lot. That and driving the trucks harder, doing tricks. But the speedster part, when I found out that was going to be part of the World Finals, I was like, I know I can be part of that. And I got a good feeling that I could probably win that. So I worked hard on it. Of course, the technicians that, fix the speedsters, if it wasn't for them, I didn't really want to fix them, to be honest with you. I had enough of my own stuff broken in the back pits. So, they did an amazing job, and to go there to win it, 2 days, hard fought. You guys were there. You guys won your championship too. Hard, Las Vegas is hot, but Orlando was like a whole different hot. And
174% humidity.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, racing with your fire suit on, like it was crazy. But at the end, it paid off. And I had a good weekend. It was actually like a vacation because I didn't have a truck down there. So they flew me down and got to stay in a hotel, drive their stairs, not even, I walked around with my gear bag, with a book bag on. So I got to get in for a weekend.
Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah. So, and then, I flew back, and then we finished building that truck, between me and Mike and Rico and Rick, Preston Perez. He came in towards the end because we brought him back. man, I can't even think of who all helped. But we put that truck together in like 20 days, and then went to MetLife, drove it in the field for 10 minutes, if that. Took the MetLife, and never did a stadium. And well, I can't say never. I didn't do one in 3 years, and I didn't do the best. I didn't like win or be the top guy there, but I had fun. The truck worked good. Did my job. I went and did my job like I wanted to, and I had a good old time.
Well, now, so talk about the difference between an arena and a stadium, though. I mean, an arena is more focused on the tricks right in front of you, whereas a stadium, I mean, it's really easy to get lost on that floor, like in the freestyle and stuff. I mean, talk kind of about the difference of that.
Yeah, arenas, of course, like you said, you're right there, so you're not too far from everybody's. Everybody's got a good seat. There's not really a boring moment, and you don't get much seat time. Like you do, but you don't. Like the show's only like 5 minutes long if you really break it down into how much seat time you get. But racing's quick. Like you said, tricks are like the main thing. Like who can do the best stoppies, who can do this, who can do that. So that was kind of my goal, learning nose wheelies, poppers, whatever we could do to make that as good as I could. And then freestyle, they added backflips in this year, which was cool. I thought that was pretty cool, and different from every other tours. I had a green light to do it every single time, where one company truck could only do it. So if Justin Sipes did the backflip, that means nobody else could do it, but I still could. So I could be like that curveball that came in and backflip at the end, freestyle, and maybe win an overall. I didn't get lucky and do that any this year, but almost. But so it's more action right there in your face. You kind of don't really get out, can't get boring. Stadiums, you just it's a whole different. There's like 18 arenas in a stadium, so they do the tricks there, the two wheel skills competition. I don't really think it's cool, but I think it's a dead part of the show, especially when you got 16 trucks trying to do something, and half of them don't do anything. So, but racing's wide open. That's always fun. I like racing too. I'm not the best at it, but when you line up against me, you better be on it, because I may beat you if I get lucky. So, and then freestyle, big air, bigger obstacles. And like you said, it's a big floor, so you can get lost out there if you ain't keeping your flow up and just keeping at it. If you start searching, then that's when you get lost, and 2 minutes will seem like 5 minutes out there.
Well, now you do that, and then you go back into the summertime shows. And I know for me, I mean, I love the summertime shows. They're a little more laid back. I mean, I'm not a driver, but you do, even as a crew guy, you get to interact with people even closer. People hanging out by fences talking to us, and some shows they can even get back to us in the pits. I mean, talk about how nice it is when you get to go to summertime shows and you can actually spend time talking to people, or we start seeing the people that come to a show every year or travel around regions to see us.
Well, summertime shows are like 50-50 for me, because that is fun when you get to see people, like you said, you get to see every year, and like certain summer shows you're going to. But then there's some summer shows where it's like you're somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and you just kind of like, what am I doing right now? Like kind of just like a boring time. So those ones ain't the best, but some of those summer shows, even some of the fairs that you can look forward to going back to, there's so many fairs I can count on top of my head that I enjoy. But yeah, I mean, summertime is a whole different world. You get the you're outside, it's nice, it's warm, as long as it's not rain, of course. But and then you just, I don't know how to explain it. Like right now, like I drive by places, and I don't know how it is in Kansas and whatnot, but people's been setting up like carnival trailers on the side of the road, and like selling funnel cakes and stuff. And I drive by that like certain smell, and it just takes you to summertime, or a certain just fairs and everything. But they are a good time. Just it's a whole different atmosphere compared to Monster Jam, to the outside summer shows.
Well, I mean, like for me, I mean, I love the Monster Jam shows. I love the organization of the shows. I love the you're in the big show aspect of it. But then, like I said, the summertime, I like the laid back more of the throwback to the way it used to be. Like I said, the instant access to fans, the not rushing through a show, just bam, 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 bam. You got time whether to either relax for a minute during the show, for the drivers, and you got a minute to work on it if you got to. It's not the pressure's not there. Like I said, it's definitely a difference between the big leagues and the minor leagues. But
Yep.
they both have their good shit. They both have their bad shit. But
Yeah, like you said, it's like exactly like you said, Monster Jam, people are going to be there, organized, like you said, like you just feel, you're part of the big leagues. And, that's what's nice. Always having people guaranteed there, always, being on a flow. And because there are some summer shows where, it does get pretty slow and you're like sitting in a truck, 100 degrees sweating, wondering when you're going because you thought you were next for freestyle. But, they just sent out the clown or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what sucks. But yeah, being able to relax in the pit party, chill, maybe be late a couple minutes, leave early, but chilling and people, you guys stay in hotels, but you guys still stay to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and hang out. So summer shows, everybody's camping, hanging out, all there having fun.
oh yeah. Well, one of our big things we like to do on this show is fan interaction. People asking questions of you and making comments. Some of them will know you, some of them won't. So, Mason, what have people got for Matt Cody thus far?
Probably not.
We got quite a few. I'm going to go ahead and start off with Levi Schoen's question saying, how does it feel to carry the Blue Thunder mantle with the truck being such a historic name?
Well, that was cool because whenever they first brought it on me, there was actually a couple different names that they were going to choose. I think Soldier Fortune came across the board, and then they were actually going to put me in Monster Mode Rottweiler, and I said no, not at all. And that's when I switched it over to ARC sock. So it worked better with my truck at the time because it was a blue frame, and the Blue Thunder just worked better. But no, it was cool. Like as soon as I found out it was Blue Thunder, I was like, heck yeah! And then I was the only one. There's no other driver to it, so that was even cool. But Blue Thunder was one of my favorite trucks back in the day. Of course, the built for tough. But I carried it on just like as if it was one of the top names out there. I mean, it is a top name. It isn't pushed as a top name, but anytime I went to a show or talked about it, I made it sound like it was, the biggest name around, and it was cool. It was cool to carry it on.
Well, it's hard to be. I mean, you're carrying on a truck that's been around for 20 years, 20, maybe longer than that. I don't remember exactly what year it started, but I mean, that truck's had some longevity.
Yep. For sure.
What else you got, Mason?
We got one from William Kuntz asking, how did it feel when you were cleared for a backflip mini flip, in Tampa?
That was cool because I found out they were doing it, and I was actually just joking with Mike, and I sent him a picture of it, and I said, they got a backflip ramp here. Can I hit it? And, of course, he read it but didn't respond to me at the time. He just didn't want to text me back, I guess. But and then after the first show, I was actually that was probably one of my best weekends I've had in years, but down in Tampa. But they so after the first show when I lost by like 1 point, it was pretty cool because like two of the top people in the office, they came up, asked if I wanted to flip. I guess they had talked to Mike, and we worked it out and was able to go out there the second show, do my first ever backflip, land it, win the overall. It was a special weekend, a crappy weekend because that was the weekend of Mike Thompson. But to be able to do that on that weekend with my first backflip, win this show for him that I said I was going to and dedicate it to him. So, it was all cool at once.
It's got a perfect storm, huh?
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
See what else we got. Got one from Pat Roy here saying, hey, Matt, remember Worcester 2016 and what a fun weekend that was for us. Fun in quotations, Of course.
Yep. Pat hit me up first time he wanted the crew. And I broke him in right, which I do for a lot of people when they want to come help. But he come help that weekend, first time ever. And 2016 was not my best year. I think I got towed off the track more than I got to drive, and ripped the whole back face of the knuckle off. I don't know how. Maybe because it was on the truck since '96. But it mess. And then we put on another knuckle, the normal standard knuckles like everybody runs, because this one, like I said, was on in '96, so it had these weird arms on it. So we put the standard with the normal, tabs on it, and then had to change all kinds of stuff around, make a longer tie rod, make a mount on the center of the housing for the steering rams. Like it was an adventure. So it was a long weekend, but it was one of them weekends again.
Yeah, I've done that show once, never again.
I mean, it's cool to park inside because you get to take all the rigs on the inside and
Oh, yeah.
right there. So, you get weekends like that and shows where you don't got to drag your toolbox a mile. That's what sucks about stadiums. If you went back up to that part, you got to go miles to even get into the stadium. So, right there, you can take your toolbox right in or even park on the floor.
Yeah. No, it's that was the only nice aspect of that entire weekend when I did that show.
Yeah, I hear you.
See, we got one from Tim Mente right here asking, give us your best how did we pull this off the road trip story. I'm sure Kenilworth is involved in this story. Man,
a lot of times with that, but I mean, there's one good time with Mente where we left out. I don't even know where we were coming from because it was just one of them weeks where we had 4 shows in a week or something like that. But I remember with him, we were going into Kenworth and the U-joint went out on the dry shaft or something like that and put us on the side of the road. Of course, like us monster trucking guys, we have to be a job of everything. So we fixed it on the side of the road. Somebody had to come actually dry shaft or something. I don't even remember, but that's a good old Kenworth story that, involved Tim Mente. But I told, even told the time about when we got pulled over. That was a good, getting towed off the road with Kenworth. Man, I got so many. I mean, another good one, me and Jimmy Tracy were headed to a show in New Jersey, and it was a blizzard one night, and it's his fault. He decided to leave late, so he got to drive through the blizzard. And we were driving. All of a sudden, it acted like we were, just went to neutral. At least we thought it went to neutral. So he called Mike, thinking that we lost the transmission. Well, he was like, did you lock the rear differential in? So we locked the rear differential in. We were able to keep going. So we thought we lost the front diff of the rig, the front axle. So we drive the rest of the way through the blizzard, get to the show in New Jersey, and go to sleep. The next morning, I go in the arena, I come back out, and we're missing 2 tires on the passenger side rig, and the axle, brakes, shoes, the drum, everything's missing. Of course, that's the drive side for the differential, so that's why it stopped moving on us.
Holy shit!
Of course, there is no place open because we just got 18 feet of snow. So we strapped it up, added oil back to the diff so it didn't burn up on us going home. Went to go leave. Something happened with the fuel line. Had to fix that just to get home. Got home, got stuck in the front of the driveway. Somewhere. Anyway, we had to do this for 2 weeks because nobody could fix it. And we had to go to the show the next week because, you get to a show one way or another. So we left late at night so DOT or anybody wouldn't, not that it mattered because we're a toter home. Anyway, we're not going to stop. But so we go down 68, and I don't know if anybody's ever been down 68 in Maryland through Cumberland and Frostburg and all that. It is a mess of hills. And we're missing 2 tires, by the way. I don't know if I forgot to tell you that still. We could go on the hill and what was it? The alternator started overcharging. So I turned all the lights on in the rig. So every light was on and fans, just to keep the battery down. Then the exhaust was blowing on the high and low shift for the shifter. Blew that one off. So then we were losing air pressure coming down the hill. I'm holding the plungers in. And, just one of them times that you don't think you should be here right now. But so Gary Porter with his voice, I can't even try to make his impression, but he walked. That was the first thing he did because he was at the show before us or the weekend before us and seen the issue. And he walks over that and just shook his head. And we went home, got it fixed for the next weekend. But that's a Kenworth story right there.
Those are the days that you wish you'd gone to college.
Yeah.
Good times. So you've got one from Scott Bryant saying, remember looking for parts on the floor in Hidalgo or Hilago? Sorry.
No, it's Hidalgo. You were right the first time.
Okay.
Man, I don't even remember that one, to be honest with you. That's another 5-show weekend, of course. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Of course, Hidalgo, I was on crewing then still. So me and Scott Bryant were slinging wrenches, and Mikey, that was the first year Mikey and Evo, and Mike was there. But, man, I don't even really remember what happened there, to be honest with you. But I'm sure I wouldn't put it past us that we weren't out there searching for something.
Done that more than once. Wait, is that ours? No, that belongs to your truck. Okay. No, there's mine. There it is. That's ours.
Especially when you're walking around the floor and you see lug nuts laying, and you're like, "Is that from my truck?" Yep.
Or when the tech is walking up with a part, is this yours?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Let me look at the truck. Nope, we got ours. It's not ours.
That's usually how it works for our team, at least. The techs come to us first.
Yeah.
He's saying it was the Kingpin plate for Black Stallion.
Kingpin plate for Black Stallion. I mean, like I said, it wouldn't put it past us. 5-show weekend, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
Here's one asking about your teammate this year. Phone from Chris Coe asking, I crewed with Preston with the jet trains, and how was Preston to work with in monster trucks? At the time, it was his dream gig.
Next.
He's still a tool.
Next question. No,
okay.
I'm sure Preston's watching. I just wanted to say that. I don't know if he is or not, but no, Preston's cool. He does a good job. He works hard. He's got a mouth on him, but we go back and forth sometimes. But for the most part, it is a big dream for him. He's got a big passion for it, and he does work hard. And I got to give it to him because there's times where I showed up and he's got the whole trailer unloaded, or he's got this done for me, and he does do his part. He doesn't drive the semi yet. I haven't got quite trusting powers to let him drive the semi yet, but other than that, he's done a good bit of work and he's learned a lot. And I've had quite a different amount of teammates here and there, and he's definitely one of the good ones.
I actually, and he would have to be the one to verify this, but I actually took him for one of his first rides in a monster truck years ago in Washington when he was still living up there with his grandpa. They brought him to a show when I was with Tony Canedo, and I took him for a ride in Enforcer. And I don't know if he'd ever been in one before that. So,
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's definitely a book of knowledge sometimes too, and if you don't know, he'll find out before you can even think about it. So
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've regretted it ever since because I don't want to be the one that turns out that I was the gateway into the business.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, he actually a couple of years ago wrote me a big old paragraph because he wanted to come work for us, but and he knows I told him the story too, and I just ignored it too. I ignored it, never even wrote him back. And then here he is later, but he did leave. Him and Mike had a little head button. They're like two kids sometimes, button heads. But but he did leave one time, and then somebody, just you've been in that same boat. You're like, who can we get? Who can we get? And it just worked out. He got to come back. He got to do triple threat, do the Monster Jam stuff. So hopefully years from now, if it ever does, we ever part ways or whatever, hopefully he does take something that I've taught him and, moves on with it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Here's another one going back on about your World Speedster Championship from Levi Shones. He's wondering, what was it like winning the World Speedster title like?
Oh, that's cool.
All leading up to it.
It's cool because, it's not the biggest title, and it's not like, even though the host every weekend made it sound like I was a big world champion, but it's cool. It's the first one ever, so that's cool to be part of history. And if it never comes back, then at least I was the first one. It's back there, I think, somewhere. But it is cool. I got this big trophy that I never thought I would have had some with other trophies that I got. So, I do talk about it here and there. I don't brag about it to anybody, but if it is brought up, I talk about it. And, to go there, like I said, to when they announced it in the beginning of January in 2019 that they were going to do it. And I really focused on that part and 100% just made sure that every weekend I won at least one race to keep my spot, in the top 8. And when I got to go there, and then, I really didn't even do good. I kind of got lucky. But, sometimes you got to take your luck and run with it. And that's what I did. So put it down as the first ever and put it in history books. And, I'm just like Jimmy Creighton. I'm still the reigning champion. So I'm waiting for somebody to take it off from me.
Well, Austin Minton was gunning for you this year. He was kicking ass in the speedster too. I think he was ranked you'd know this more than I would, Mason. What, 4th or 5th?
Last time I was checking, it was 4th. Where this
Yeah.
all kind of came down from it, right?
And then you were up there too again this year, weren't you?
I was in the top 8, but I wasn't having the best year. I had won a couple. Colton Eichelberger was wiping us all on that one this year. But I joked with Austin. At least I think I did. I can't remember, but I think he had mine from last year, to be honest with you, because he went on the same tour. He went on my tour from last year, so I think everything just switched over. So I could see why he was winning so many. That thing had a good luck to it.
Let's go with that.
I'm just kidding. He was doing good. I was watching some of it. He was doing good, and when I was with him, because he filled in August last year and did 3 shows with us. But he had a hurt leg still, so he was just kind of there, filling in, helping out, and just kind of I try to give him a little bit of tips, just like I do anybody else. But you just got to be aggressive on that thing, and
right.
that first turn will win the race for the most part.
And you tell Austin Mittens to be aggressive. Katie, bar the door because shit's getting ready to go bad.
Yeah, I hear you. It wasn't that I tried to be the hardest on him. It was nice that we didn't have to work on it. Kind of like a free car, here and there. But it was fun. It was a good time driving those things.
This is a good one from Darren, actually, Mr. Miguez. He's wondering if you ever use that title when you walk into a gas station, I'm the Speedster champ.
Yeah, I wear that gold medal around my neck all the time, go in there and get my 40,
Just pimping.
Yeah, hey, champs here.
Champs in the house. I want the Speedsters. The what? The Speedsters. What we got?
Whenever people say that, like, well, what's a speedster? I tell them, you ever heard of a side-by-side? Nope. Like, all right, just take the world champ.
It's the shit I drove when I won the world championship. That's what it is.
Yeah. like a monster truck, but not quite.
But a lot smaller, a lot less power, and drives on regular gas. But other than that, it's identical.
Yeah, but those things will ring your bell, though.
What I hear.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's a good one from Nick Bogler trying to sharp your memory with good memories with Preston. He's saying, how about the time that he ripped out the whole front end last year?
Yeah, trying to beat me. That was like his second or I think that was his first show back driving with us, and he was trying to beat me, of course. And he hit the cars crooked. So it is what it is, Mike was pissed a little bit, but in the long run, he got over it before the night was even over. Preston was right there, working on it from the start to the finish. And like I said, luckily I have all the extra parts that I had in the trailer, because, you would have called us on a really oddball weekend. We might have not got that back together for the most part. So, but it is what it is. You're going to have it, especially with that body, especially when the sport's getting bigger and bigger every year. It's kind of hard with concept bodies and not rolling unless you really just, take it easy. So it's going to happen. I've had my fair shares. I came really close to rolling it, but he joined the club, and we fixed it. We drove all night to a show the next day, and it stayed together.
That's all that matters.
You know. Speaking on bodies, one from Pat Roy again asking, what's your favorite body to run between Stallion, Iron Warrior, Blue Thunder, or Evo? Do you like driving the bus though?
I like Iron Warrior and Blue Thunder, of course, because they are the same body style and the mounts stay the same. So it's I hate changing bodies left and right. Mike books, whatever he can some days, and I got to put Evo on or Stallion, and it sucks switching back and forth. But Iron Warrior and Blue Thunder are the two of my favorite, just because those are the ones that I've made my name with, and I just like to stick with that. Overkill is cool to drive every once in a while. I don't mind it. Never really had much luck with the Overkill name when I do drive it here and there, but Stallion's cool. I drove that my first couple of years for the most part. So, that's just like Blue Thunder. It's a legendary name, been around for a long time. And, me and Mike got to do 2 Black Stallions at one time. So it was cool to, carry that on with him. And the bus, you can't beat the bus because no matter what you do, people love it. You can crawl over the cars and kids are still going to go crazy, and it looks cool. And I was glad to be a part of that back in 2011 when we did it. We built that thing in 11 days. But it was a cool body. When Mike comes up with ideas and he does it, and he does it over to the top, to the best he can. And that thing's cool. So it's cool to drive from the inside and the outside.
God, that body really been around that long?
Yep, 2011. So
holy hell.
April 2011 in Montreal is when it did its first show.
Holy hell. God, I'm getting old.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
Timothy's actually wondering if you ever flipped the Speedster. Front flip, sorry.
Front flip. Yeah, actually. A couple times. Front flips, side flips, ripped wheels off. I mean, I back in before the season ended, I had back-to-back weekends that I hit so hard that I actually ripped the transmission out and then ripped the motor mounts on weekend.
Good Lord.
Yeah, those are the ones that you're driving home like, God, this one hurts, because those things are squared, not like a monster truck's got the round cage and you kind of just you go with motion. That thing's like a big square that block that you just throw to the side. And
well, now how much they get up your ass for tearing that thing up? I mean, they got to get tired of spending all that money on you every week, huh?
Honestly, I never got anything said to me.
Really?
But I never really broke it on purpose, other than one time.
Right. Obviously,
there is a video that's somewhere floating around. Nate Williams has it, but a lot of people seen that was the only time that I've actually ever broke one on purpose because it made me mad, and I made sure to flip it and break it. But other than that, I mean, it was just the luck of the draw. Like they did say kind of like calm down a little bit. You just went through transmission and motor, but like I told them, I didn't mean to. But I really tried to break it up too much because, like I said, I was trying to win and a point. So, but I was always aggressive with the first turn. That's what I say. Like the first turn will win the race. So when you start and you on, if you make that one really hard and aggressive, and because like if you can be coming off the pod before the other person even like just getting on the pod, then you got the race. So right there is what really kind of made and break me sometimes. So I would either do a really good turn and like jump the pod and come down, or I would jump the pod and roll over or nosedive, break a wheel off or something. I don't know.
So since you were so focused on speedsters, did you just not worry about ATVs too much? Was that just something you didn't like, or?
Yeah, I didn't want to go to the hospital or anything for ATVs. I mean, not that we were out there trying to hurt each other, but there's been times you just the track sucks sometimes, and you get ruts, like really bad ruts, and there's been a couple people that's wiped out and unfortunately missed the rest of the season because of that, the four-wheeler. So I raced hard to an extent. So like if I was in the front of the pack, so I guess I'll give you my secret, so it doesn't matter right now. If I was in the front of the pack, then I would race hard and I would try to stay in the front and win, or, because they did the black flag, and then the 1 and 2 would go to the final race by themselves. So if I was in the front, I would just, try to do my thing, try to win or hold my spot. Other than that, depending on where I was at in the mix up, I just tried to make sure that I was before the people that were good in two-wheel skills. So that way I could get a high score and be at the top of the pack. You know what I mean? So like you knew Justin Sipes, like for this past year example, you knew Justin Sipes and you knew Colt Eichelberger were the two guys on the ATVs most of the time. And Mark List, you know, he could give you a run for your money. But they were also good at two-wheel skills. And, you know, I could be a mix up here and there. I won like 3 this year, I think. So if I just held my position and went like 4th for two-wheel skills, because usually the 3 people that went before that, nothing against them, but they were either just doing wheelies or, you know, their stoppies were, you know, they were okay. Nothing special, but okay. Get the crowd kind of wowed up. And then if I could go out and at least hold one for, you know, 30 seconds. And then, you know, like Mikey Vaughter started doing a lot, turning the tires, started trying to do that at the end just to mix it up. So then I'll be the middle pack, get a good score, 8 something, maybe even 9 something. And then now you're going to see the rest of the guys go. But I'm already up here, you know?
Right.
No, my little technique. But yeah, four wheelers, you know, they were cool to hold the clutch in and, you know, rev the throttle real high, you know, like all the dirt bike guys do and stuff. And, you know, get the crowd, you know, but that's about it, you know. But some of the tracks, you know, like you just had, you know, you had to be careful because they will throw you. I mean, they're 450s, they were stock, but if you didn't know how to ride a four-wheeler, you know, they were going to throw you around.
Well, what's cool is you're one of the first ones we've had on here. I mean, we've had multiple people who've done the triple threat, and you're the first one to talk about an actual strategy with all of it. I mean, everybody else is like, oh yeah, I wanted to win this, wanted to do this, but you're the first one to kind of put it into, you know, you had a plan of kind of seeing where you were, what you had to do to make it all count and get your points where you could.
Yep. Yeah. I read the show. So, you know, I didn't, because I don't want to tear stuff up and be working all night either. You know what I mean? If I can get through a clean show and be at the top, then, you know, that's a win in my book too. Yeah. And I try to tell Preston that too. You know, you know, just, you know, if you're winning, win. If you're losing, you know, don't lose, but just, you know, carry on. Don't go out there and tear it up. Just get through and we'll go on to the next show because we got 3 more to go or 4 more to go, you know?
Well, like I always tell our younger guys when I'm with them is if you need to go for it, there's a time and a place, but don't take yourself out of the rest of it to go for it on this one time.
Yep.
You know, if you're going to push it, make sure it's worth it because it does no good if you take, you know, it's like in 2 wheels. You can go for it, you can try stuff, but don't go do something that's going to take you out to where now you miss donuts and freestyle because now you've gained nothing.
Yep, that's what that's what I told him because you know, racing's racing. So if it's racing or time race, well, you know, regular racing, roundy round racing sets you up for the ATVs. Where time race, where they already picked who was in the order, so then your ATVs are already set up. So that one kind of sucks in a way because you can't really can't plan as much. But
right.
You know, if you lose ATVs, you know you're first for 2-wheel skills, and you're going to try to go out there and hold a stoppie for, you know, a moonwalk for 45 seconds. You know, that's cool for the crowd because they're going to see it for the first time, but you're still only going to get like a 6 or 7 every single time it happens. I mean, so read the show and go on with it. You know, same with donuts. You know, if it's a hook and track and you know you're not going to get a donut and everybody's hiking up and rolling over or whatever, you know, try to just go slow and just do a half-ass spin, you know, give the crowd something to see. Then you're going to get a good score, you know. Don't try to whip in it hard like everybody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What else you got, Mason?
Here's one from Corey Snyder. He's asking, get that tire lift in the trailer, and is it still working good? And Tim followed that up with, that one was sketchy.
Yeah. You know, back Corey's, yes, it's still working just as good as it was when he was with us because when Corey came on, it was in the better years of it. Of course, we got a 48-foot trailer, so you got to load the front truck all the way in the front of the trailer, and then you pick 4 tires up in the middle, 4 tires go under, and then another truck goes in the back. So it's a lot of weight picking up, but when me and Jimmy Tracy had it for the longest time, it was sketchy. And that goes back to another time that, you know, you wonder why you're still here because I'm surprised that thing never dropped on us or just You had to get back under it sometimes to pick up one side so that the other side, because it'd be like this coming down, so you had to pick it up so like this. And yeah, it was a mess. And we're lubing the pole up, trying to get the pole so that it would not catch him. So we got that fixed, and it goes up and down pretty good. But yeah, it was a sketchy time for a couple years, but I still don't like it for the most part. I mean, it goes up and down every single time, but you got to park level. You can't park on an angle, or you got to be level. You gotta like massage it. You know what I mean?
I helped out Mitch Teleska years ago in his old trailer, and he had that tire lift, but it had a hand winch. So
Jimmy, Tracy, and Trey had to do that one time. I didn't have to do it yet, but yeah, I couldn't imagine that because that would suck.
Oh yeah, it was just that rolling chain winch, and we get to the show, and we're going to unload. He's like, all right, we got to lower him down, and he grabs a chain and he starts feeding him down. What the bloody hell are you doing, son? Oh, this is why we take our tires up and down. Horse shit! Just cut the cable, let them drop. We'll deal with the rest later.
Yeah, that's when I'd go grab the loader and use the loader to pick them up.
Oh my god!
I couldn't imagine that.
No, that was horrible. It took us like 45 minutes to winch them all 4 tires up. When we loaded.
Oh.
We'd all go for a few minutes, crank on it. All right, next guy. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah. What else you got, Mason?
Well, I was actually going to go ahead, seeing how we're in the last 10 minutes of our episode here. One of the questions we always like to ask our guests is, what is your favorite road story moment? We've had quite a different few we've already got from you between, your trailer breaking down or having to use different types of, like loading techniques, really. But is there like a road story that to you that means a lot that you like to tell?
No, I mean, most of my road stories are going to be issues that on the road. Because I'm kind of one of them ones that just I don't leave at the last minute, but I leave and I drive straight there, or I drive as much as I can, sleep, and I'm right up the next day, getting to the arena, and then as soon as the show's over, 9 times out of 10, I'm packed up and hitting the road that night and getting as far as I can. So I don't really have any good road stories like that. I mean, not that it's, I had a good time going to Vegas one year, of course, with, Michael. And, he's a lot of stories that I could come across. But, it was me, Mike Thompson, Mikey, and Scott. We went to Vegas and we milked it out. I think it took us like 3 days to get there. But, we stopped at like every other state, ate that night, got beer, had fun. I think I wrestled with Michael for like a half hour one night in a rig or something like that. That's definitely one of my good memories. But no, I mean, I guess, so another funny, just broke down moment, I guess, Corey Snyder just,
It's not a secret. Hang on, Matt. I just had special guests walk in that want to say hi to you.
Oh my god.
Right.
Come say hi.
Can't believe this is actually where they filmed the Monster Cast.
Hello.
Look at this. World famous Kristen Hope, driver of Wolf's Head, and him.
Yeah. Top driver right there behind you. I'm
Well,
jealous.
my kids are in town finally. First time I've seen them since what, March?
Yeah.
Yeah, just rolled into town, drove North Carolina to see
We
us.
drove all the way to from North Carolina just to crash this podcast.
Yeah.
That's it. We're leaving tomorrow.
Just in time.
Yeah. All right, so let's end it here.
Yeah.
Well, as we wind this up, we're almost done. We got to do we started a new thing. We've only done it once. We've got a new deal with Dave Too Tall for the movie quote, where you got it. We're going to play a quote from a movie, and you have to guess what movie that's from.
This one might be hard. I'm not a big movie. We'll try.
All right, let's see if you can do this.
It's Too Tall here with your movie quote of the week. I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
You got me there.
Really?
I'm not a big movie guy. I mean, not that I don't watch movies, but I really like I don't watch TV at all or movies. And you know, like Mikey and of course Michael Thompson again, Steven, those guys will do movie quotes like that all the time. And like I would just be sitting there like,
Well, that's what started this whole deal because me and Dave do that all the time. But Mason, what do you want to do? Do you want to give the answer, or do we want to just keep using that one until somebody gets it?
you might as well keep
I
going.
gave you the answer last time, but I'm seeing if in the comments anybody answered that. If nobody's really answered that, but dang it. Never mind. I was gonna say we keep it going, but Kelly answered it, and it was the Roadhouse, and that is correct.
That's
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
I don't even think I've honestly seen that movie, to be honest with you.
Oh my God. Okay. You've got homework to do now because that's Patrick Swayze. Bigfoot is in that movie and multiple times.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to start making a list of movies that people would do like that because, like I said, they do that stuff all the time, and I'm just like,
oh yeah.
sorry. Like,
Yeah.
my stays on. Well, I don't even know why I pay for cable, to be honest with you. But before I even go to bed at night, I think the only TV channel that stays on is Family Feud. So we might watch a couple of that and just turn it off. But that's about it.
Well, see, you're lucky. When I lay down in bed, my wife's always watching Investigation Discovery of all the murders show. Women snapped and husband dies today and all that shit. She's over there with a notebook and a flashlight, 3 pens because she runs them out of ink. And
Like, oh my God, I can't believe that they killed him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure at some point Mason's going to be coming on going, guys, I got some bad news. Cameron didn't make it. And his wife's been arrested. Of course, I got she get arrested. She got so many damn notes. She probably just about has a perfect crime done. So
yeah, you better watch out. You'd be hiding somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
But man, well, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you doing this, especially last minute. Like I said, you're one me and Mason have talked about multiple times getting you, and we always just found somebody more popular to get instead.
Yeah, I know. I was joking with Preston on the way to Indiana. I was like, because I was watching Stevens, and I was just like, I don't know. I guess they just don't like me. I guess I'm not good enough.
Oh, you know I love you. It's just hard to get to everybody.
I was actually working when you called me earlier. It's funny because I was working and I'm dealing with customers, so I'm talking on the phone, and I see a call come in, and I shit you not, I hung up on that person. Just made it sound like we lost him or whatever because I was like, "This is what's up, Cameron." Like,
well, it worked out good, dude. And like I said, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely have you on again. And hopefully, like I tell everybody, see you on a show here soon. But if anybody wants to keep up with Matt Cody and what's going on, where can people follow you and stuff?
Of course, my Instagram, Cody Matt, and then Facebook, and same with the Vaughters page. Vaughters Motorsports, Vaughters Monster Motorsports on the internet, Facebook and Instagram. So usually once I get all my stuff going and I know where I'm at, I always post it. So it's always up to date usually. And same with the Vaughters page. So, and Overkill Evolution. So can't forget that one.
Well, and please, if you guys start booking shows, get shows going, let us know. Cause we try to go on here and talk about shows coming up each weekend. Yep. As people let us know what's going on. Cause we're at the point, we're just kind of pimping everybody.
Yeah, I hear you.
Brother getting his business going again.
Yeah, your brother just texted me and said I'm his biggest hero, but it's the other way around.
Well, you both should envy each other. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I miss him.
Yeah. He's like a bad case of hemorrhoids, pain in the ass.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully we see you soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. We'll see you all later.
All right, Mason, you got some sponsor stuff to tend to?
Of course. As usual, we have Florida Saucelingers' own Spur Hot Sauce. They are a Florida-based local business where the Southwest meets the Southeast in a clash of hot and tangy flavors. Next time you want to spice up your next meal, think of Spur Hot Sauce. Make sure to give them a like and or contact on Facebook and or Instagram, and tell Monstercast sent you. Also, of course, we still have Monster Truckinator TV, the place to go on for anything new and old monster truck related. And with that, yeah, good episode, good times with Matt Cody. going on about shows. Actually got a message about it. There is one going on in, I believe, Idaho for No Limits, the Monster Truck Tour.
Okay.
I just found out about that yesterday, so that's one I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. It's on the 25th, so make sure to go to their Facebook page to find out more information about that. And anything else for you, Cam?
Well, also this weekend, Up in Two Extreme has a show in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. It's going to be Mitch Teleska's 2 trucks and 2 of Mike Christensen's trucks. Grain Valley, Missouri. There's a show at Valley Speedway. I'm sure there's some somewhere else, but like I said, I haven't heard about them, or I haven't. I've forgotten because I'm not very smart. But I just want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, I apologize for the change at last minute. But next week we will have the Wives episode on next Wednesday. But Sunday, got a really cool one. Scott Hess started out with Hercules monster truck and then went on to drive a barefoot for Fred Schaefer and a future Hall of Famer, or should be a future Hall of Famer, and I think he will be. But we're going to have him this Sunday, 7 p.m. Central. And then, like I said, the Wives episode next Wednesday. Other than that, Mason, did I miss anything?
Nope, you covered all the things I had written on my forehead from last week.
All right. Well, then I guess that concludes our broadcast for the evening. Thank you for watching.